Right.
Yeah.
So, so as I always do when I start these things off, I always give the little spiel about how we got to this place. As most know who've watched me play or watched the videos, I joined a lot of discords. I was trying to grow my community, and I really didn't feel like there was a community growing around me. So I decided on January the 1st that I was going to choose 20 people. Funny side note, I actually chose Tabby and Twitter, but Tabby really didn't stream, so I had a little conversation with her, and she's like, yeah, just do Twitter, and if something changes, we'll figure it out. So she was very kind to kind of give Liam, by the way, his name's Liam, by the way, just letting everybody know. Liam's his real name, Twitter kid's not.
Who's that?
But I started this thing on January 1st, and what I did was I chose about 14, 15 people, and with the hopes of getting 20, which we do have now. And I can't even begin to explain to you what's happened for me personally, which is not what the point of it was. The point of it was to try and help each one of these 20 people do better, get better, more people, more community. But I think at the same time we've done that. I think that they've gotten to know the people they didn't know, and even more. The fact that they even hang out on my channel is funny because I found them hanging out in Slocker's channel, and she plays World of Warcraft, which I can't understand anything she says when she's talking. So with all that said,
Nor does he.
Nor does he. Yeah, we're like cross-eyed, right? So with all that said, first of all, let's start off with give us a roundabout location in the world where you're at. Please don't tell us anything too specific. But what part of the world are you in?
Currently, we're along the south coast of the UK.
South
Kind of in the middle.
Coast. So like the equivalent of like Florida here in the U.S. Only not as nice.
Just colder.
Yeah,
Fair
all
enough.
right.
From where now? Where were we?
I'm
You're from
from-
where now?
I'm from a city about 250 miles north of here, called Lincoln.
Okay. And for those that don't know, Twitter and Tabby are a married couple. And they have no kids, but they have a couple of dogs. Tell us about the dogs.
No.
No,
Just a
only
dog.
one dog.
Oh,
In
sorry, dog and a
fact-
cat, right? A dog and a cat, right?
In fact, come here, buddy.
Oh god, this is definitely as well.
This is Loki. He's just appeared,
Okay.
in fact.
So I actually see and hear about Loki more than I do Tabby on the stream most of the time. Oh my god.
Oh,
He's
Loki's
standing-
actually decided to be a parrot cat.
Oh my god.
So he's currently sat on my shoulder.
And then Thor is the dog, correct?
He is
Yes.
indeed, yes.
Okay. So that's their family out there in the UK. Tell
There's
us if
occasionally a nephew that pops up too.
and that is oh, I can't remember his name. Leo.
Leo.
Thank you. So tell me how did the two of you meet? And did the way that you guys met have anything to do with video games or cinema or television in any way, shape, or form?
Television, yes. There was a show called Lip Service,
Okay.
which was the British version of the L Word.
Okay.
That's the cat trying to climb into a bag. And literally, it's a case of, oh God, that was back in 2010.
Yeah.
It was on TV over here, just on BBC Three. Nothing really huge because of the time of night it was on, but we got part of the fan fiction and the fandom on Twitter.
I see.
We just got roped in. I got roped in with it. Somebody had set up an account for two of the main characters. I got involved with that. Because of that, I got part of this little fandom and kind of got sucked into it and was working behind the bar.
This is the
Also-
Twitter baby. hence
Also,
Twitter Kids.
also comes part of my name because out of the group of friends we then all made, I'm the youngest.
I see.
So
So
I got called.
did I hear you correctly? Because you guys don't really speak English, Well, actually, you guys speak English. We don't really speak English. So sometimes I don't totally understand. So to understand that you guys met from being fans of this show and kind of through the interaction on Twitter, you guys bumped into each other. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. The interviews are never about me, but most people may or may not know this about me. But I met my wife online before there was like online dating sites. I met her through Yahoo Personals. And I've been
Yeah.
married to her for 15 years. We've been together for almost 18 years. So it's not weird anymore to meet someone online and end up, married to them. So that's pretty cool. That's a cool story.
Fair, we've been together 8 years, and people, when they're like, "How'd you get together?" and it's like, "Well,
Twitter?
Twitter," and they all look at us just like,
What?
Because
Yeah.
like 8 years ago, now,
You're like, I was just looking for somebody to hook up with, and she was on Twitter. I was on, and just boom, it happened. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do?
I was,
So
we were just literally
so-
part of the fandom.
So
Yeah.
this is a different interview than all the other interviews because I have kind of both of you here, and just so you guys know that are watching this, when you guys watch this, they really are like, Twitter is the two of them. Like the two of them, like if you're watching his stream and you hear someone berating him in the background, that's Tabby. So it's really part of his channel. It really is. I mean, they are their channel, even though it's Twitter's channel. And then Tabby, I saw you stream the other day, but I had to go to bed. Like it was like 4 a.m. for me or something like that.
So it could
And-
have been me, but it also could have been Leo hijacking my stream.
Ah,
because
interesting.
um,
Interesting. So
yeah.
so
like,
then
he got really excited.
what I think people would be interested to know is when you guys first met each other and began kind of talking back and forth, at what point did the conversation go to what's your favorite video game? Or how did that ever come up, if it did? Or was that an early, like, hey, I'm in love with this person because of this? Like, how did that play into your guys' relationship?
We're quite split when it comes to favourite video games because growing up console-wise, your dad always had Nintendos and SNES and all that, so obviously Tabs is very Mario.
Hey, listen. Chipped PlayStation as well.
But my very first games console was a Sega Mega Drive Mark II, so obviously I'm Sonic.
I've never heard.
So-
Yeah, of course, we see you play Spyro, we see you play Sonic, of course. That makes sense.
So,
Okay.
so that's one big divide. He says having a giant ass Mario poster in the games room and no sign of Sonic. Um,
It's called
but
being
for me-
married, Twitter. It's called being
Yeah.
happily married.
What she also hasn't realised is the gaming desk that I built also drills into the Mario poster.
Yes, I did notice.
It's funny.
We taped the poster to the wall before I built the desk.
All right.
Um,
So we're gonna get onto the serious questions now. Serious questions. Okay.
dun, 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 dun.
So tell me how you ended up deciding to turn on a camera or turn on a video game and broadcast yourself live to the world. What was going on in your life prior to that became something you decided you were going to do?
Well, I used to play video games quite a bit before I was working full time. I used to play them play on the PlayStation all the time, and then I started getting a full time job, and I realised I wasn't playing that much, and literally just decided that actually, do you know what? If I'm going to play a video game, sod it. On the PlayStation 4, there's a little share button, so I thought I'd press it, and the choice was Twitch or YouTube, and I chose Twitch.
Just like that. Never gave it really any thought of like what it could become, what it might be. Just, hey, I'm good enough at this game, or I don't give a shit, and I'm just gonna push the share button. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, it was just I don't give a shit. I'm going to press a button, and in fact, it's actually because of that is the reason I'm now back to playing and enjoying playing video games again, because before then I didn't really have a chance. The PlayStation was only being used for Netflix and Now TV and watching films or TV shows on streaming services.
You know, it's really interesting because, and again, this is your interview. This is your opportunity that I wanted to give you to talk about some things that maybe people don't, get a chance to hear on your stream all the time. But it's kind of interesting that we're having this interview tonight because I think sometimes misunderstand, what it is I do with this 20 thing. They think it's a team. They think it's a group. They think it's like a business. And the reality is it's not. There's nothing specific about it. Like, you guys are obviously not trying to become Ninja and Dr. Lupo or Electra or whoever you want to call it. You guys just really enjoy streaming. And so the conversation I had the last few days with someone was about how I support people. And it's like, maybe you don't want 30 or 40 or 50 or 100 or 1,000 people watching you play Spyro. Maybe you do. Maybe I haven't found that out yet. But I think just the fact that you stream and what you just said is the whole essence of why I chose you. It's the whole essence of why I wanted to be supportive of someone that just enjoyed playing video games on stream. and it's not monetary for you. At least it doesn't feel like it is. It's not something where it's not something where your ego's involved and it's look at me, I'm the best player in the world. Like you're just this, forgive me for making it sound this way, but you're this just kind of average couple that is living in 2019, and this is kind of what people do, and it's really enjoyable. It's really fun. Every time I tune in, I'm always entertained in some way, shape, or form. By whether it's the banter or you screaming in a very high pitched voice, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that, you stupid asshole? I catch a lot of those, but this is the essence of why I started this thing. It wasn't about supporting you and growing your channel to be famous. It was about supporting your channel to just get you, involved in the community more. Really, that's what it is. So, with that thought in mind, tell me what it is that led you guys to Slaka. We'll drop Slaka's name here. How'd you guys end up with her?
I was part of, like yourself, I was part of one of the many Discords going through. Yeah, I think it was, I can't remember which one it was. It was one of them, and I think Sarah was part of it at one point as well. And I just got dropped to raid from it. I was playing Batman Arkham Asylum.
Good game.
That
was my request.
Yeah, it was.
I
That's
love
funny.
watching that game. It's such a great game.
I was playing that. They dropped a raid. That raid got me affiliate, and she dropped on by. She stayed quite a while. In fact, after everybody else had dissipated, she was pretty much one of the only ones that stayed. And I thought, sod it, I'm going to repay it, go back in, and in fact, my wife spends more time there than I do, and
Right, I mean,
that
you guys, and again, like I always try to, I always envision you guys obviously as individuals, but I always think of you guys together. Whenever I see you, I ask about her. Whenever I see her, I ask about you. But it's funny because every time I'm in her channel, one of you is there. Generally, like I said, it's Tabby, and that's how I met you guys. Like that's how I met you guys. Is that I was in this group, I found her through a raid. And then I thought she was great. She did some artwork for me. I started hanging out in her channel, watching her play a game that I have zero idea nor interest in playing. But she's intriguing. She's interesting. And
it's quite interesting the fact that I had minimal knowledge of World of Warcraft. Yeah, I'd had I had friends who had played before. Liam had absolutely no knowledge of World of Warcraft, and yet it just kind of it's the first kind of World of
Loki,
Warcraft
what are you
stream
doing?
that I've gone into and kind of gone,
I'm staying around.
I'm actually going to stay around, yeah. And you kind of get to know people and you kind of get to understand more about what's happening. And she'll explain things and stuff, and same in her Discord, friendly group, and they'll all explain things. And it's led me to do reading. I've started playing World of Warcraft. You've started playing World of Warcraft.
wow.
None of us as serious as Flopper is. She's a much higher tier, but
Right.
it's crazy that actually to feel so welcome in a game that you know absolutely nothing about and had minimal interest in, but you stay for the person. It very much is like that. But
Right.
it's the same with you, Smarmy. The fact that it's common knowledge that I hate Fortnite.
Right. But you'll sit in my channel for hours watching me play it, which blows my mind.
Exactly.
So I always wonder to myself, what are they giving her? What is she taking? They must be giving her some drugs or something.
No drugs here. And it's all about people and communities. And once you find a person that's a good streamer, you kind of stick
You can-
around. You don't care what they play, whether it's your favourite game or a game
Right.
you've never heard of. You stick around for that person.
Yeah, and that kind of leads to my next question for both of you guys. And feel free to answer this one each individually if you want. But what happened in your guys' lives? Whether it was before you met each other, maybe it was the way you grew up, maybe there was something that had an effect on you. But tell the people that watch this where you got this or developed this sense of community that you guys have, because to someone like me, it's strange that people from across the ocean, literally on the other side of the world, hang out and chit chat with me while I talk to them, and I'm getting to know those people. That, I mean, there's always a chance we'll meet, right, face to face. I mean, I'd love to get out there and meet you guys, but I mean, there's always a chance we never would meet, but yet you're close friends of mine, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, it's so odd. Like, what happened in your life that puts you in a place where you could do that? Like, that you have that about you. Something must have molded you or shaped you because of that.
I'd say, yeah, Taj just said it's probably where I grew. So back in Lincoln, where I come from, and the village that I grew up in, pretty much, it's quite a small village. Pretty much everybody knew everybody.
Right.
They talk to anyone, even if they don't know each
Yeah,
other.
yeah. Well, you're out going for a walk. If you like, every time you go up and we see my grandma when we go back home, we take the dog. Like we went since we've had the dog, we've taken the dog out. Whether we've had a dog or not, we've gone for a walk, and the person across the other side of the street's gone evening. You go evening.
Right.
And I always ask, do you know them?
No idea
And
who they
Liam
are.
always goes, no idea.
But
That's funny.
I think that's the culture of the village that I grew up in. But then also the way that I was brought up by my mum as well was a big part of that. Regardless of who they are, what they look like, if they talk to you, you talk back. You make polite conversation is what you do.
Interesting.
It's really interesting because being from down south, people are the opposite. You see someone, your head goes down, you don't make eye contact. Like, you don't talk to people you don't know. And if you do, they're probably either drunk or high.
Oh my god.
And that's kind of why they're talking to you. It's really bizarre.
Unless you've got a dog.
Although that's changed since we've got a dog. People will talk to you if you've got a dog. But so for me, it's more about people, and you know, I like supporting people on, despite the fact that I struggle with conversations sometimes. I am a people person while not being a people person, which probably makes no sense.
It does in your own special way.
It does in my own special way.
It sounds like, Tabby, you might be one of those people that you're particular, but once you find someone that you've decided you're going to conversate with, it's like you open up and you can't even believe how much you talk to them. As where most people, you're selective with who you kind of open up and talk to.
That's why I'm stuck here for life.
Stuck here for life. What are your goals, if you have any? What do you want to do with streaming, or are you just happy with the 10 people that come through and watch you play? What would you like to see?
You are generous with 10 people.
Well, I meant the 10 people that rotate and make up your 3. That's what I meant to say. You know, that's what I meant to say.
Sounds more like it.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
But
Paul
no,
Tom's the other.
I mean,
I'm
you're...
occasionally one even.
So yeah,
I mean, because and again, you know, at the sake of offending you guys, it's like you of all the people kind of that I have, you know, in my group that I follow, there's a couple of you similar, but you guys literally don't promote, don't push, don't talk about. I mean, you go to my channel, I'm like, hey, sign up for this, go over here. You're just like playing Spyro, man. You got no ads, you got nothing else going on, so. What are your intentions with my daughter? I mean, what are your intentions?
Well, the main reason for that is like said in your chat earlier, is that yes, I've got the PC, but where we live, we're so far away from the port for all the internet.
Oh, wow.
It's naff. Even on the lowest quality settings on my PC, I'm laggy as anything. So all of my streaming at the moment is coming straight from my PlayStation 4, which, unless you've got a capture card, you can't do any of the overlays. You can't really do anything. And unfortunately, until BT or whoever it is, or sort out the lines and get actually proper fibre in, not just fibre up to the telegraph pole and then copper wire into the house.
No. They're all... But they are like basic fibre, which
right.
lines run 1,000,001 devices all connected to the internet, all wanting to do kind of video
streaming or video gaming. So for me at the moment, I'm quite happy with my setup for PlayStation. If I can get, because the only downside with PS is that you have to have a PS compatible camera. So Christmas, Tabs bought me a lovely Logitech camera that I'm now using, which I can use for my PC.
Nice.
I can stream from my PC as I'm playing an internet-based game. So solitaire it is.
Yeah.
Um,
So, to be fair, I didn't realise at the time, I hadn't really done that much research into the whole camera side of things. I looked at capture cards and all that, but was like, no, I can buy him a camera, yeah. And I didn't look into the fact that it had to be a PS4 specific camera. And so I just bought this little Logitech thing that I was like, yeah, that'll plug into USB port, great. Yeah, no.
I'll never forget. I had just spent a bunch of money buying my PC in November. Was it November? Yeah. And I'm talking to Cosmic. We're like getting ready to play, and an article pops up saying that you can now use any camera on Xbox with Twitch. And I was like, son of a bitch, man! I could have saved about $900. Just bought a camera. I mean. But I probably wouldn't have been happy, you know. I probably wouldn't have been happy because I knew that from when I started streaming, I knew that I had to have the setup that I have, like to do what I want to do, and there's more to it, obviously. To wind this thing down, what is something that you might want to tell us that you've never talked about on stream, that you think might be important for people to know about you? That's that's not something that's just come up on stream, but you'd love to tell us about. Tell us something we don't know about you guys.
There's something that only, I think, a very small handful of people know, because really it's not something I would like to say defines me.
Okay.
But I'm actually transgender.
Really?
So yeah.
Okay. I did not know that.
So yeah, that's the thing. That's so I want to be able to have my community as and create a safe space for literally anybody, ideally. But that's the thing. I don't want that. That's not something that defines me. I'm me. What you hear, like I say, what you hear on my stream, is me. So the high pitched voices that you hear when I'm going, no, yeah. It's because I've only been on hormones for a year. So when I've been saying, like back in the end of last year, when I was going, it's all right, I'm going to be off for a little bit. I've got recovering from surgery. That was my first set of surgery for double mastectomy. So,
wow, man, wow. Okay, can you tell everyone I didn't know that before I asked you that question that was legitimately just me asking you that question, because I don't want anyone to think that was set up. I'm as shocked as can be. And I'm not shocked at what you've shared. I'm just shocked because it would have never occurred to me. Like, of all the billion things I could have thought about to ask that question and have you answer, that probably wasn't on the list of those things I thought you'd answer with. So, boy, that opens a whole other lot of questions, but I'd rather ask those to you on stream. Wow. I will ask you one. How long have you known that was going to need to take place for you?
I'd say I've started transitioning about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So somewhere before that, obviously you had some emotion about it. Then you knew something.
Tabs and I were just drifting apart. It was before we got married. Obviously because we've been married nearly 2 years now. But literally, we weren't like when we first got together. We completely drifted apart. And
to be fair, you were barely talking. Go to work, come home, put yourself to bed, and that was it. So
Wow.
couldn't
Wow.
happen.
But I owe a lot to a little web series, Carmilla.
Yes.
I really
A
do.
little web
Wow.
series. That...
It is indeed. But yeah. So anybody who actually wants to check it out, it's great. It's a great woman-led. In fact, I think there's 3 tops male actors characters.
Yeah.
In this little web series. It's on YouTube, and it's an amazing. It's based on the novella Carmilla by
Joseph Sheridan
Le Fanu,
Yeah.
which he wrote back in Ireland back in the 15th century.
No,
15th?
not-
Wow.
No, was it 15 something?
I want to say it was
18 something?
18 something. It predates Dracula by about 20 years, but it is a vampire.
Yeah,
Vampire.
Carmilla is a vampire, but she is essentially the original lesbian vampire, but because of what it was,
So-
it's not written down. But the way it's written like
Not
that.
quite. So it's basically written because I've read the original manga as well. It's written as a warning about female sexuality. And basically,
Interesting.
the whole point of it was women at that time couldn't be sexual, and yet this creature was, and it was like, whoa.
But this little web series has completely turned it on its head.
The fact
Twitter,
that
Twitter.
there's-
How old is that tattoo on your arm? How
This
old does that work?
How old is this one? This one's 6, nearly 7 years old.
yeah.
So this tattoo is a half sleeve from a brilliant sci-fi show called Warehouse 13,
Okay. Okay.
which we got completely obsessed with as well.
Oh yeah.
Apparently. Apparently.
But these are two characters that I've got. I've got two of the characters on my arm. I've got Micah and I've got HG. So they created HG Wells. Warehouse 13 is kind of cross between Indiana Jones and X-Files.
Yeah.
Basically, they go
Wow.
hunting for artifacts and things like that, and it's kind of fun. And there was kind of like the two actresses that play them, Joanne Kelly and Jamie Murray, were absolutely phenomenal on the show, and a lot of underwritten sexual tension between them, which both of them completely played on. Jamie on all of her social media completely played on HG being gay and being loose,
Being loose.
being loose, just being.
Yeah. Probably pansexual.
Sexual, yeah.
Would be the best way to describe.
And literally they never really refrained. Lily actually never went to it in the show, but there's a huge Bearing and Wells fandom that we met up with when we went to Comic-Con
Yeah.
in London, MCM Expo.
Wow, even in Birmingham.
So this was
before that,
Birmingham,
yeah.
wasn't it? We went to Birmingham before I got this because we met
Yeah.
Jamie Murray
Yeah.
when they were launching the TV show Defiance. And
I'm just listening. Keep going. Keep going. I
when they
didn't.
were launching
I didn't realize I was gonna get all that from the tattoo, but okay. Okay.
But I just thought, sod it. And literally, I went into our tattoo shop that I go to, that I get all my tattoos done,
Yeah.
and I went, I want this. This is not what I imagined. I imagined something completely different. But Kaz is just a phenomenal artist, and she went, well, this will look better here, this will look better there, and we're going to stick Endless Wonder written underneath as well, because that's one of the big phrases.
Yeah.
I've got the Eye of Horus, which is what all of the regents, who the guys in charge of the warehouse,
Right.
have on them somewhere. I've got one of
The Phoenix.
the Phoenix coin, which is one of the artifacts, which is a resurrection artifact, which if you're holding it and you die, you resurrect, but the downside is somebody else ends dying because of it.
Yeah.
I've got actually the Warehouse 13 obviously logo, and then above it is an image of the actual front of the warehouse.
Gotcha.
And then
And the grappler.
And then underneath, because H.G. Wells, based on the actual author H.G. Wells, but in this case, surprise, surprise, H.G.'s a woman.
Wow.
H.G. created a grappler gun, which in the grappler spells out bearing. And then there's a little outtake scene which never got put into
Yeah.
one of the episodes where H.G., because it's set in the modern day, H.G. has been debronzed because of something that's happened. And she gets fascinated by these post-it notes, which they took out of the scene, which is a brilliant scene.
It is.
So on the post-it note is
Because
and Wells.
In fact, she left like
Yeah,
her grappler
she
with
left
a
my
post-it
note
note
attached to it. So
Okay.
I've got a grab Bearing and Wells.
So listen. Number one, first of all, thank you for having the courage to share that.
No problem.
It makes me feel good to know that we truly have an eclectic mix of people in this group of 20 content creators. And you just took the lead, by the way, on being eclectic. That's a good thing. But I'll leave you guys with this. It's my honor, it's my privilege to get to follow you, watch you guys, learn about you guys. I didn't think it was going to happen overnight, where each and every one of you, I'd find out, details about your lives that you probably don't share here or there or wherever. I didn't think it was going to happen overnight, and so sometimes people will even ask me, like in chat, hey, so how well have you gotten to know all these people? And I'm like, well, it's kind of one at a time, and little by little and little by little. I mean, I think that Goku's made it public, but I mean, Goku's having a kid. He's having a little boy, right? I don't,
I've seen that on Twitter.
you know, like things are starting to occur in people's lives that are in real life, so to speak. And the reality is that we all hang out in this like this stream world for the most part, supporting one another. But then there's like real life shit going on, man. So I appreciate you sharing that. I appreciate you guys being supportive of me and the 20 and my channel. And I just want to say thank you. You guys mean the world to me. You guys were like, I think the second ones I asked to do this and be in this group. I think
You're telling me I wasn't the first?
well,
Sorry.
I think it was Cosmic. He had a gun to my head. There's some other things. I can't really talk about it on stream, but yeah, no, man. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm gonna have to edit this up a little bit because we all rambled at certain points, but I'll get all the good important stuff in, and then I'll get it out hopefully tomorrow. The two of you have a wonderful Easter holiday if you celebrate that, or Passover, or whatever it may be for you.
Nope, I'm laying floor.
That's right. You guys are laying laminate tomorrow. I remember hearing that. See?
Nah, today.
Well, today.
It
Sorry,
is
I keep forgetting. It's
9:45.
it's already morning for you. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It
like
is indeed.
it's like 12:44 in the morning here. Twitter, love you, man. Tabby, love you. Thank you guys for doing this.
Well,
I'm gonna get back on Realm Royale and rage some more because I can't beat solos. But I'll see you guys around soon, and I'll have this video out.
I think
for you guys.
Realm's finally downloaded for me.
If you want to hop in, I think that Epic Ownage might want to play. He's in my chat. But thank you guys so much.
I say that as the...
All right, you guys. I'll see you in chat.
See you,
Yeah.
see you, Smub.
Okay, people, there it was, man. That was Twitter Kid. And if that wasn't raw and unedited and real to you, I don't know what to tell you, man. That was an absolute surprise for me. Didn't know any of that stuff.